So we'll start with the definition of a statement. A statement is simply a sentence or an expression that is either true or false, but not both simultaneously. A simple example, Tallahassee is in Florida. That is a statement. It could either be true, it could either be false, but it can't be both. Another example for a statement, let's say a pH of 7 means neutral. That is a statement. It could be true, it could be false, but we know both of the statements that I wrote are true. They are true statements. But it can't be both true and false at the same time. Now, what does negation mean? Negation simply means adding not. So negation is either carried out on a true statement or a false statement. Mind you, when we say a statement, it could be true or false. So we would have to assert if that statement is true or false, or else people would not know. So you can either apply negation to a true statement, or you can apply to a false statement. If you negate a true statement, it will become false. If we negate a false statement, it would become a true statement. So you're simply doing not. Oh, excuse me, you're simply adding not. So my example is today is in the month of September. In other words, we are in a day in the month of September. First, is this a true statement? Yes, it is. So this is a true statement. If I negate it, it is going to become a false statement. I can negate it in a couple of ways. I just have to throw not, the word not, somewhere. So I can say today is not in the month of September. But as a person who is living and breathing, sitting here in the month of September, knows that this is false. So I just negated that statement and it is no longer true, it becomes false. Is there a different way to write it? You can write it in multiple ways, but you can say it is not true that today is in the month of September. When we have negation, we denote negation with something called a tilde. That sign right there is a tilde. And it goes back to how we negate things. The way I wrote the second statement, it is not true that today is in the month of September. I pretty much brought the note that was in the middle, which is how we write in English, in a simple way. And I rewrote it in a different way so that the note sort of came to the front. So the tilde notation is a notation that is used to indicate negation. So if I go back and call this statement to be P, I negate. Once I negate, I end up getting another statement, Q. But Q is simply tilde P. So we can say that the statement Q is simply the negated version of the statement P. We have to identify if that is a statement. It is rather a question when we say, should the SAT be abolished? It is not a statement that you are making. If I write P as my cat sleeps all day, is that it is a statement. So what would negated P mean? So when we negate, the meaning of the negation, as we know in English, is my cat does not sleep all day. That's the negated meaning. We know that. But in terms of logic, when we write this, it is not true that my cat sleeps all day. That is the negation part. But you may see that both statements are equivalent to each other. If you go back and search philosophies, many of the philosophies are mathematicians, and a good amount of mathematicians are philosophers indeed. Anyone who deals with math and gets a good grasp of it in some way could end up being a philosopher. And we know philosophy is not about just making statements. It involves a lot of logic. Logic and reasoning is part of philosophy. So math and philosophy go hand in hand. So the very first sentence, the negated one, my cat does not sleep all day, it is a simple way for us to understand it, in a language. But the one below is the formal way of negating the statement that was provided to us.